Hey everybody, it's Jenny McGarvey and I am here today to share with you how I'm going to plan in my classic dashboard layout happy planner. Now I have the undated extension pack. You can see that there aren't any dates, but we'll take care of that fairly easily by using a roller date stamp, which is my favorite way to date things quickly and easily. Now I am going to be using some stickers from Shine Sticker Co. If you've been to Michael's recently, she has stickers in Michael's now, which is very exciting to see a small business owner do that. I got these off of her online shop and I just think they're adorable. They are Wizard or Harry Potter themed stickers and I just thought they were so cute and I really wanted to use them this week. And so I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to incorporate these Happy Planner journaling stickers and a little bit of watercoloring as well. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me use the watercoloring on these journaling stickers and then also on the journaling doodles as well. And it's just been so much fun. And so I really wanted to do that over here and give you guys a good look at that. Now I'm going to be using these Prima Marketing Tropicals watercolors. They come in a little tin like this, and you can see right here there is the guide. You give a little paint on there and you can show what the color is. There's like a little palette when it folds out, and then these are the little tiny watercolors, and you can see like with my finger right there for reference for the size. They're super pigmented, so I mean I've been using these same watercolors for a year and they don't even make a dent in how much I've already used. So I also pulled out these Shine Sticker Co. stickers. I might use them, I might not, but I didn't want you to be confused. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this page out, and I'll start on this left hand sort of more dashboard side first before I work on the right hand side. Now I am going to be using a water brush. Do you see this here? It has a brush tip. You can see that right there. It's just a brush. There's water in the barrel. You can squeeze it to let a little bit of water out. I will link you up to one that I really like below. I use it equally as this one. This one I don't even know who makes this one or anything like that, but my other one I do know. So I'll link that up below, and I like them both the same. So it's not weird or anything like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate both of these stickers together. So I know that I want to use these and I want to use the Etsy stickers as well. So I'm going to go through here. I've used a lot of these already. I love these stickers. I think they're just amazing and they're just perfect for me. Like I can do so many fun things with them that I don't even know where to begin. They're so great. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is there's a couple of areas that, for example, because of the way that I use this planner, I don't necessarily need. So one, the word focus, I don't really need that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. Okay. Just trying to figure out how I'm going to use these things together because they're all so stinking cute and I want to make sure that I can use them all. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this with this sticker. Again, this stuff is just purely decorative. I don't use this side aside from a little bit of tracking of things that information that I track on this side of the layout. The other side is the side that I use very heavily. All right, so then I'm also going to add, so cute, this little lady right here and just create this fun little cluster. Now I'm also going to do some up here as well, and so I'm going to take this, let's see, this longer strip, and then what that does for me is it covers up the section that says errands and to buy, which I don't need for this work planner, so it works out okay. So I'll cover that up right there. Perfect. And then I'm also going to add, again, I'm going to, let's see, which little guy should I use? think I'm going to add that right there. So fun. Okay, now I want to also add a little cluster down here. Not because there's anything wrong with this. You got this. It's perfectly cute. I don't want to use it. So I am going to instead add sometimes it just takes me a minute to go through here and figure out what it is exactly I want to add, but you know I'm always going to figure it out in the end. Okay, so just going to add this right here for right now. I'm not long term. I'm going to add more there long term, but for now. So now, first of all, what I'm going to do, add a little bit of water to my palette. So I don't know if you can see the water in there, but just a few droplets of water, okay? Now I'm going to take this dark green and just add a little bit of paint to the end and put it here. So it just gives me a wash of color, all right? So what I'm gonna do is color this. Oh yeah, that's great. So it just gives me a super light base and a wash of color, and I'm getting this really nice and wet, not ridiculously saturated, just nice and wet, that's all. And before you ask, no, it does not bleed through to my planner. Now I took and I dipped back in there a little bit, and I'm just going to place it right here. Okay, now you can see that it's spreading ever so slightly, but my sticker is not so saturated that it's just totally spreading out. If I were not working in my planner, I'd have a little bit more wet, but because I am, I don't want it to go through the sticker onto the paper. So I'm just simply working this around. You could see that I added a little bit more of the water that has that color in there. And I'm just creating a little bit of fun. Now I'm going to leave this like this for now. My best guess is that this will dry and I'll think this is great, okay? You don't have to go crazy, and it usually dries really beautifully with just a little bit of work. I mean, barely anything, am I right? I mean, we've hardly done a thing to this, but it'll dry so nicely. So I'm just gonna let this dry, and we'll see how that turns out before I commit to what I'm gonna do with this box in terms of the watercolor and the decor. So I'm gonna move over here and I'm gonna do the same thing. And I think that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little wash of blue. So I'm gonna just add a couple of drops of water right here just so I can clean off my brush because I want it to be blue, that's all. And I'll go ahead, add some water. I've got this blue up here. So as you can see, I'm just creating blue water, and that's just to give it that nice, pretty base of color without being too terribly saturated. Now you can see here I'm just coloring. The messier, the better, in all honesty, at least for me. I want it to look like watercolor. I don't want it to look like I, you know, specifically made it completely colored in or anything like that. I want it to look watercolory and messy and, you know, like a watercolor painting. So this one actually I'm really excited about, more so than this one even. I think this looks beautiful. I'm just gonna leave that to dry and we'll see where we end up with that. Then I'm gonna go up here, and I think because I'm such a fan of the blue, I'm gonna go ahead and paint this one blue as well. Now I try not to get the watercolor on my pages because I don't want to warp the paper or anything like that, but you know, it's not the end of the world. And again, I prefer the watercolor look, so it's just kind of how we do it. All right, so now this is primarily finished except for this little box down here. And quite frankly, I think that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit more messiness to this because I feel like it looks a little bit too neat for me. I know that's so weird, right? But for watercolor, you really want it to look modeled and, you know, like it's watercolor, right? So I'm just going to give it a little bit more, push that color around a little bit more. Now I will decorate down here, and what I would like to do is I would like to add a little bit of stickers and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna let this dry because I want to add on top of it. And I don't want to do that with this sticker being completely soaking wet. So I'm going to set it aside for just a minute. And then I'm going to pull out the other side. Okay, so right here, this is where the bulk of my work goes for my work planner, and I really enjoy it. It has just been great for me. Now, I also have some super adorable tape that is Wizard / Harry Potter themed from Wonton and a Million. And I'm going to go ahead and use this washi for this because it doesn't have any characters on it. So it's just beautiful. It's got this really lovely copper, and I feel like it could be just so pretty right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that right up here. And then take it all the way to the edge because I really love those scales. I think they're so pretty. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to trim it just because that's what I like to do. I've been doing that for years, and so that works out really well for me. Okay, so I pulled that right off. And then I'm just going to, over here at the edge, trim that as well. So pretty. I don't know if you can see the really lovely foiling on there, but it's just beautiful. Okay, so now I still want to do the same thing that I like to do, which is using the visual triangle, if you will. So I'm going to create a little cluster up here with this, but I'm going to keep it pretty simple because I don't want to go crazy or anything like that. So I think I'm going to add this adorable little, she's flying on her broomstick. It's so cute. And I usually typically write on the left-hand side of the boxes. It's not to say I don't use the right hand, it's just that the bulk of it is right here. So this should work out just fine right there. Now also, move that little thing out of the way. I may end up using the golden snitch on there too because, well, it's pretty darn cute. Now I want to do something down here in kind of the center because decorating Sunday is pretty common for me because I don't use it. So it's kind of easy to make the triangle that way. But I think first what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, let's see here. Just kind of thinking about what I want to do in terms of, all right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this circle sticker and I'm going to use the edge of my sticker sheet and I'm just going to trim this in half. I want to use half of the sticker. So I'm just going to peel up half of it, set this aside, and then I'm going to add this right here. Now I will add more to this, but for right now I think this is just as I'd like it to be. And then now I'm going to work on this down here. Now I'm trying to decide what the best way to do this is because I've got so many different ideas, but how does one choose which one to use? So I'm thinking that goodness. All right, I'm going to live on the edge and I'm going to see what happens because I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't have a real plan in place, but let's go with it, shall we? All right, so I'm going to stick this right here. And now we're going to head back to the watercolors, okay? So you can see I've got a couple of things that I want to color. And keeping in mind from the other side, I use the blue and the green, okay? And I love them. It turned out perfect. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the green here and the blue here. So I'll go ahead in with my green wash and just wash that over here. And again, I don't want to get it on the paper from the planner. It probably wouldn't hurt anything. I just don't want to. I'm going to add a little bit more water so I can get that really diluted effect when I add the pigmented paint. Just take a little bit of that, add it right here, maybe a little bit more right there. Then we're going to get my brush wet again, just really spread that out, push that paint around, just so we can make certain sections of it a little bit darker and make it really stand out. It's so pretty. Rinse that brush off again, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing down here with the blue, getting the label nice and saturated so that we can push around some of that really pretty color. Now, again, I'm not an expert at this. I've not been watercoloring for 500 years. I've watched a couple of 30-second Instagram videos on it. I just do what I like and what I think turns out nicely. I don't need to be an expert in it. I'm not trying to become a watercolor artist or anything like that. So just good enough that I enjoy how it looks in my planner is all that really matters. You know, like I don't feel like I need to know everything about watercoloring or anything like that. And I'm not teaching you, I'm just showing you what I'm doing and how I enjoy it and what works for me. So anyway, and this seems to work just fine. It's what I've been doing the last few weeks and I've really been happy with it. So, okay, so now I'm mostly done with the watercolor. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm also going to set this page aside again because I want to let these dry a little bit. So now we're going to go back to this one. It's still a little bit damp, but I feel satisfied that it's okay to work with. Now, ideally, what I'd like to do is I would like to use this, but I haven't really used yellow as a predominant color, and I could. I don't need you know, anything to tell me specifically what to do, but I'm thinking that I'm going to not do that. So I am going to pull up this Let the Magic Begin sticker, and I'm going to add that right here, and I'm trying to do my best to offset this nicely. So there, I don't know if I love that or not. Let's turn it this way. I may have a little bit better luck. All right, there we go. And then now, it's not exactly straight, but you know what? You guys know me, I don't really care. Except that, yeah, it's probably terrible. All right, so I've got my little friend here. So I'm going to add, I'm sticking, as you can see, with like a real, that's adorable. I'm gonna have to end up trimming her because she's on the where the discs go, but that's okay. It's fine, and she's still gonna be adorable right there, so I'm okay with it. Now, basically we're finished for this left-hand side. I don't use the calls and email or bills to pay, but that's okay with me. It's not really necessary for me to cover that up. Now we'll go back to this side, and I would ordinarily let this dry a little bit more, but for the sake of the video, it's gonna be okay. Now, when I originally planned to do this, I was going to put a box right here, and I had not planned to put the box here, but I'm going to put the box down there, I think, instead, and figure something out over there. So cute. All right, so now because I also use the blue, I'm going to pull out the blue washi as well from the Wonton in a Million, the same as the green. And again, I don't want to use the character ones just because I'm not using the same characters, but I want to add something because they're just adorable. All right, I'll cover up Sunday. And then I'll go ahead and use my X-Acto knife, trim that off. And then pull this little edge, extra edge right off. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. If you're a Harry Potter fan like me, I kind of feel like these tapes are a must. They're just so cute. All right, so now we just have one little space left, and we need to do something right here. And I think actually I am going to add the golden snitch right here because, well, it's really adorable and it looks like she's flying towards it. So, all right, now I'm going to add one of these little stickers. So I'm going to take the blue one. I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to make it so that it's under the Friday. Doesn't really matter, but then that way it leaves that out, right? Okay, and then I'm going to add the Let the Magic Begin because it's super cute. So see, now I have my perfectly decorated, and perfectly decorated for me, not for necessarily for anyone else, my perfectly decorated layout. And the last thing I need to add is the dates. And that turned out so cute, right? It's got a bunch of watercolor and it's really fun and pretty, but it's so simple. You saw that that really hardly took anything at all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull out my roller date stamp. Mine is super old, just so you know. You're not gonna get the same one that I have, but I love this. It's so easy to use. So I'm just gonna go through and add my dates right here at the top next to it. You can use whatever you'd like. I'm using VersaFine ink and a roller date stamp. And then Friday is March 1st. Isn't that crazy that we're planning for March 1st already? Now, I don't stamp the dates down here. A, I've covered it up, and B, I don't add things to work on over the weekend in my work planner, so it's really not necessary. But that's it, a little fun look at some Harry Potter goodness, and then also a little bit of watercolor too. So anyway, I will link this stuff up for you guys down below. If you have any questions about the stickers or watercoloring or the dashboard layout, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks guys, make it a great day.